Welcome back to the Commanders Declassified podcast. We are coming to you live on the 4th of July week. So hopefully everybody has a safe and happy 4th of July. It's going to be hot. Make sure you take the necessary precautions to stay cool and stay out of that extreme weather. And hopefully you get to see the fireworks. Eric, how we doing today?
I'm ready for some fireworks and I'm ready for some football. July sucks, man.
It's one of the
If you're
worst
a
months of
football
the
fan,
year
yeah,
for
if you're a
football.
football fan, it's the worst.
That's right. Training camp gets back together later this month, and of course, we'll give you all the news and info about training camp when that time comes. Mike, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. No complaints. Ready to talk about some commanders. And yeah, I know everybody's probably fatigued about a lot of the stuff, but we'll make it entertaining for you all. I promise.
That's right. I'm gonna get my Alex Trebek on tonight. I got some questions for you guys, but first, I want to start it off with divisions in the NFL. And I want you guys to tell me who you think is going to win each of these divisions because I was thinking about this earlier in the week, and I'm like, man, the Bills have lost Stephon Diggs. The Dolphins, have made some moves and things like that. So let's start with the AFC East. Eric, who do you think's coming out of the AFC East between the Bills, Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go nuts. It's gonna be a toss-up division. It's gonna be close, but I'm gonna go with the Jets and Aaron leading them to a division title.
Really?
With like a 10-7 record, though, it's gonna be like one of those seasons where like there's no clear dominant team. I see the Dolphins starting out hot and fading. The Bills being the Bills most of the year and just doing just enough to like make you think they're going to win something, but not quite. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go the New York Football Jets at 10-7, taking the AFC East.
So you're a believer in Aaron Rodgers' health, I see. Mike, what do you say for that division?
Um, Honestly, give me the Dolphins again, man. I just feel like McDaniels has something good going down there, especially in the early parts of the season. It seems like they struggle in the back half, but that first from September to October, they come out on fire so far. And yeah, I just feel like the other three teams, like y'all said, Bills lost a lot. Well, lost a lot as in Diggs. The Jets, they got sued for their own logo today. Like I feel like I don't have to elaborate on the Jets. Sorry to trash your pick, E, but I mean
It's okay.
it is what it is.
Aaron Rodgers, he's my
And
cousin, so we gotta keep it in the family. So
and the Patriots, I mean, listen, could they be a wild card?
no,
Maybe because they might have they don't have the best quarterback in the division, but Brissett, you never know. We might catch some late heat like Kurt Warner or something, man. Like I don't know. I'm not going to count out the Patriots too much, especially after Bill gone. You never know what can happen. But for my bread, give me the repeat from the Dolphins.
didn't the Bills win last year though?
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They did.
yeah,
Oh snap! They did. They
yeah.
blew it. Thus proving my point of them losing steam at the end of the season.
Yeah, they
But
faded.
I think they'll pull it off this time. My apologies, y'all. They really did blow it, just like I just did.
I I'm gonna take the Dolphins too. I think the Diggs lost for the Bills, even though I know they got another receiver to replace him. Josh Allen and Diggs went so well together, and I think Diggs bailed Josh Allen out of a lot of bad situation. That chemistry takes time to build. Dolphins stack up enough early wins to take that division pretty hands down. All right, AFC North, top to bottom, the best division in football. I don't think there's a lot of argument about that. Ravens, Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. Eric, who are you taking out of that division?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough division. Let me go with. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I like Joe Burrow. I think he's the best quarterback in the division. As much as I like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow's my guy. I'm gonna roll with Joe Burrow. No other reason than that. I couldn't care less about anything that has to do with that division. Cleveland probably has the best defense in that division, but they're Cleveland, and until they do something, they still Cleveland. So give me the Bengals and Joe Burrow, a healthy Joe Burrow with the receivers that they've got. That's where I'm rolling with.
Okay, I can dig it. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, that division tends to rotate if Barrow could stay healthy, it's July. I'm sorry. If Barrow could stay healthy the whole season, I feel like the Bengals might comfortably win the NFC North. The other three teams may have hit their peak. Like, let's keep it a buck. The Ravens, they did it again. They made it to the end of the year and choked in the playoffs, sort of. The Browns, there's some debate on if Watson is still Watson. I don't know.
He's not.
It's kind of up in the air. It's kind of up in the air. I'm not sure. And like the Steelers with Russ, like until Russ proves that he can cook like he used to cook, I don't have him doing nothing but microwave dinners this season. The quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh is going to be lit. They're not used to stuff like this, so it can go crazy in Pittsburgh. So the Bengals are kind of the most stable team in the North, all things considered as well. So I'll take them to win it.
Yeah, this is a hard one to choose. I mean, I feel like Lamar is always somebody you have to bet on, but at the same time, I feel like there's something with the Steelers and the Browns this year. The Steelers are due, I think, to win that division. And if they were more solidified at quarterback, like if Russell Wilson proves to be anything decent, I think the Steelers win the division. I'm counting on Deshaun Watson never getting back to where he was before, but that defense is so legit that I think it's really hard to bet against that defense. I'm going to take the Browns to win that division. As long as they get everything worked out with Amari Cooper, I'm going to say Deshaun Watson plays just well enough for them to win that division. So I'm going with the Browns. AFC South, Texans, Jags, Colts, Titans. Eric, which one you taking there?
Give me the I want to say the Texans. I do. I want to say the Texans. Yeah, I'll take the Texans. I'm going to take the Texans over the Jags in this one. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on any team in the NFC South or the AFC South this year. Drastically improving over what they were last year. I mean, the Texans obviously made a huge leap, but now that they're not surprising anybody, are they going to continue to be able to do that? This might be another one of those 10-7 division champion time around. I'm still a believer in Trevor Lawrence too, and if Doug Peterson can get that figured out, the Jags can have a legit shot. Can Anthony Richardson stay healthy for 16 games or 17 games? Who knows? The Titans, I don't think the Titans are as close as the other teams. I think they're kind of an also ran that division. So I'll take the Texans by a nose in this division over the Jags.
Okay. Mike?
I mean, I'm not going to sleep on the Titans. They're a hot Will Levis away from taking over that division from the Texans, but I just don't. I just can't see that. And
new head coach,
the Texans,
but they really didn't need to get rid of
head coach too.
They didn't need to get rid of their old head coach, but they got rid of him anyway.
The Texans, I feel like they have a lot cooking right now. They have the darling at the quarterback. Feel like the NFL might try to cook a little something up just to keep him in the spotlight. And the other two teams with the Jags and the Colts, like they can't seem to get right. Both of those franchises, like they should be better than they are, but they just can't seem to like get right for some reason. They'll have a hot season or two and just fall apart. Like just go from top to bottom instantly, it feels like. So yeah, Texans by default, kind of.
Yeah. I think CJ Stroud's going to have a very interesting year because he was so good in his rookie season. How does he improve upon that in the second year? It's kind of almost hard to do, right? Like, and the pressure's going to be there. I think he'll handle it. I think that with the contract behind him, finally healthy, I think that Trevor Lawrence kind of rebounds. I'm a big believer in Trevor Lawrence as well. The Texas defense is outstanding. But as we know, over time, defenses tend to get a little bit worse every year. So I'm going to take the Jags. I'm going to count on the Jags being able to do it offensively. They can be explosive when they're healthy. ETN, Trevor Lawrence, and a couple other guys they have can really turn it up there. They did lose Calvin Ridley, though, which is a pretty decent loss. for them. So I'm gonna go with the Jags. My surprise team would definitely be the Colts. AFC West: Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers. I'm not even sure this needs to be a conversation, but Eric, who are you taking out of that division?
Yeah, I think Harbaugh will make things interesting, even though the Chiefs or the Chargers lost all their wide receivers. The Harbaugh factor makes it interesting, but it's the Chiefs' division to lose at this point. And until we see otherwise, that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and agree. This is Chiefs out and out. I don't think there's a lot to say with that one. The Chargers also lost. Yeah, they lost their running back too. By the way, I saw Austin Eckler with Rich Eisen saying that the Chargers went to him and said, "Look, we want a 300 carry guy." And Eckler's like, "Well, that's not me. So let's just go ahead and figure out something there."
Good on him for saying that, because some of those guys, man, the ego takes over, and they're like, "Yeah, I could do that," but Austin's like, "No, man, I'm 32 years old. I can't be carrying the ball 300 times."
It's going to be somebody, but it will not be me. All right. NFC East, our beloved division. We have the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders. Eric, who do you have at this point in the season as the division winner?
Well, this is not the Cowboys, Eagles, or Giants declassified podcast, so I think we all know the answer here. I don't even know why. I love the Dan Quinn hire. The closer we get to the season, the more I like the Dan Quinn hire. Go back and check the tape. I was never against hiring Dan Quinn. But I think he's the right coach for right now. So I'm excited to see what this team does. It comes down to Jaden. Can he be the guy in year one? Can he have a CJ Stroud type rookie year, or does he need to ease into it? But I'm not picking any other team on a Commanders declassified podcast other than the Commanders. So as far as I'm concerned, and we're not picking, even though I picked us to go 7-10, we're still winning the division, because that's how things are on the podcast.
I'm not going that
division
route.
Winners. Let's do it. Mike, what do you got?
I said I'm not going that route. I'll remove us from consideration, because I do feel like we have a lot of mojo going right now. There are some things cooking, but unfortunately, because this is a Commanders podcast, I'm too zoomed in on the Commanders. I cannot pick them to win the East right now. I'm sorry. I can't. But who should I pick between the other three teams? Dallas and Philly. I mean, Philly's the easy answer, but I don't trust Sirianni, man. But I don't trust McCarthy either. And I'm not picking the Giants. I'm not picking them. So
you're taking the Commanders. That's what you're doing. You're taking the Washington Commanders. Just do it.
I might as well. I didn't trash the other three teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they on paper, can you argue that they have the best head coach in the division? I know Sirianni just won a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. But no, I'm sorry, went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he won Jack's
My apologies. Yeah, Peterson won it. So yeah, I don't know. I just can't pick us. I just can't pick us because it's us.
Well, Mike, we're gonna have to let you go. All these months on the podcast, but just not working out.
Who you going with, man?
Washington.
There we go. With the Commanders. Yeah. We have things cooking right now compared to the other three things. I said I wasn't going to pick us, but the other three teams have just as many questions as we do, and with us having potentially the best head coach and maybe even the best quarterback at the end of the season, maybe, who knows? It can happen, but I'm not confident at all.
You threaten that man's job, he'll come around.
That's right. I'm going Commanders too. Let's make it a sweep. All right. NFC North: Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. Eric, what you got?
I'm going to go with the Lions to repeat. I don't like this pick at all, just because it's the Lions and, they're the Browns of the NFC. Actually, they're the Commanders of the NFC, let's be honest. But there's so much talent on that team. It's a very well-coached team. Dan Campbell, the coaching staff has remained intact. Basically, all the pieces have remained intact. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best young running backs in the NFL. Jared Goff, when Jared Goff is doing what Jared Goff does well, he's really hard to stop. And the defense is, phenomenal under Aaron Glenn. So with the turnover on every other team in the division, although the Packers are interesting. Jordan Love played really well, much better than I think any of us thought he would last year. But are they ready to take that next step? I don't know. I'm gonna roll with the Lions to repeat this year.
I'm going to stamp that as well. Mike?
I'm not stamping it.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell y'all why. I heard something from Josh Jacobs a couple of weeks ago. He says if Green Bay had better running back play, that they would have won the Super Bowl. And he really targeted their former starting quarterback, saying that he just was not making the correct plays, the correct reads. And that if he was there, they would have won the Super Bowl. And I'm going to double down. I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl or anything, but I'm going to double down on that type of statement from that running back. Like, if he stays healthy with Jordan Love and LaFleur, that offense can cook. Like, that really can cook. And Christian Watson, the receiver, one healthy season away from becoming one of the most talked about receivers in the league. Remember, I said that on July 2nd, 2024. But I it's not that I don't like the Lions. I love Amon-Ra, one of my favorite players in the league. And I'm one of the bigger golf fans, literally and physically. So like I love the Lions. I love Dan Campbell too. I'm just saying, Green Bay, it's hard to repeat a division too. So I'm just saying, I'm feeling Green Bay. That's all.
And Green Bay did let Joe Barry go, and that's addition by subtraction right there. So yeah, I'm not sleeping on Green Bay at all. I think Detroit can hold them off this year, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Green Bay won.
I would. I think Jordan Love takes a step back this year. Lions all the way, representing for my family's hometown, Detroit, Michigan, staying with the home team there. All right. NFC South, we're going to do this rapid fire because we got to get to our Commanders content. Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons, Panthers. Buccaneers won it last year, Eric. Are they going to repeat?
No, I got the Falcons this year. I think the Kurt factor puts them over the top. Competent quarterback play is the only thing that kept them from running that division last year. They have that this year. I think they do nothing in the playoffs, but I think they win the division.
Okay. Mike?
Same. Dirty Birds.
All right. I think the only way you can pick the Bucs is if you're a believer in Baker Mayfield. And I think Baker Mayfield had one of those years he has every couple of years. I'm not sure he's going to be able to repeat that. My heart of hearts won't let me go with Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, even though I think they have the best roster overall. And I can't pick Derek Carr and the Saints. So I'm going to go with the Bucs and just hope that I'm right about that. All right.
No Panthers for you?
Yeah, not a fan. I'm not a Bryce Young guy. So many arguments about that. But anyway, NFC West, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. Who you got, Eric?
It'll be a fun division. I'm not going to pick against the 49ers. I think they've been the class of division for years. Sean McVay is a heck of a head coach, and it wouldn't surprise me for St. Louis. Good Lord, how old am I? For the Rams to be in there. The Seahawks. If Sam Howell takes over, the Seahawks should go 17-0. But no, I'm going to go with the 49ers. I'm not a Kyler Murray guy. I never have been until I see otherwise. Just not going to be a Kyler Murray guy. So I'm going to go with the 49ers there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with San Fran too, only because I just don't trust the Rams to stay healthy at all. That's just seemed to be their pattern, and that's the only team I feel like that's realistically competing with them. The Seahawks, they don't have enough, in my opinion. I like Geno, but they just don't have enough. So San Fran by default.
Yep, sticking with San Francisco. We're all the line there. You guys sold it well. I am going with them as well. All right, we're going to jump into some Commanders questions I have for my friends here. Let's get right into this. I'm going to ask you guys one question each. Not one question each. I'm going to ask one of you for your responses to these questions. And then if you other has a particular point, feel free to make it. All right, we're going to start with Eric. Eric, do you agree with this or not? Jaden Daniels will break the 30-touchdown passing mark this year as a rookie.
No, I don't agree.
The Commanders haven't had somebody do it in a long time.
No, not since Sammy Ball or Sonny Jurgensen has somebody thrown 30 touchdown passes for the Commanders. I would love to see it. I don't see it happening. It's harder than it looks, especially for, in this division. So I can see him as a rookie. I would love to see him break 30. I'd love to see him break 40. Obviously, teams do it all the time. Kingsbury's offense may unlock something, but Cliff's offense tends to, historically, things slow down in the second half of the year for Cliff's offenses and Cliff's teams in general. So we'll see if that trend continues when he's only focusing on the offense. So I'm gonna put Jaden more than 20, less than 30 for touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm way wrong. I hope he throws 50.
And don't forget, as a rookie, CJ Stroud in his excellent year only threw 23 touchdowns. So
Yeah.
it's not that easy to get over 30 touchdowns as a rookie. It's been done before, just don't know if it'll be done here. Mike, Terry McLaurin is going to have a career year with this offense, Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels this season.
Yes, he's going to have his highest total output so far as a Washington football player. I don't even think he's eclipsed 1,200 yards in a season yet. Am I mistaken?
You're correct. 1191 is his most.
Yeah, he's getting at least 1,200 this season for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there's opportunities too. Like his most catches in the season is 87. There's guys in the league that catch 120 balls a year. Like you said, Mike, his most yards is 1,191. Guys do that all the time now. And then the most touchdowns that he's had in a season is 7. So he can certainly do better than that too. So I like where you're going with that. Eric, Austin Eckler will have more combined passing and rushing touches than Brian Robinson will this year.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think it'll be close. I think obviously Robinson's going to have a lot more rushes than Eckler will, but Eckler will be very involved. They brought him in here for a reason. Wouldn't surprise me for them both to get in the 200 touch range total. Obviously, I think Robinson's going to get more carries. Eckler's going to be a combined guy. But if you can get them both in that range, I think you've got a really successful offense.
Yeah, I think back to the J.D. McKissick year a couple of years ago when he was just all over the place. However, we have a rookie quarterback, and I think they're going to try to protect him a little bit by running the ball. So it's going to be pretty close no matter how it ends up. But I can certainly see where you're going. Mike, Frankie Louvu will lead the team in sacks this season.
Yeah. Yes. The way the coaches have been lighting up when they mention his name, the buzz that he's been getting from media outside of Washington, the love that he has gotten from the media inside of Washington. He's 140, 150, 160, 170. Put it in pen. If he plays the whole season, he's definitely leading the team in tackles for sure.
Oh, I said sacks, though. Do you agree about sacks? Did I say tackles? I meant
sacks.
Yeah.
I must have. I'm sorry. I assumed tackles. If you said sacks,
170 sacks. That's a lot.
My apologies. Nah, he's not leading the team in sacks. I feel like Armstrong, just because of his position, he'll lead it. I think Louvu's going to be all over the place, but nah, he's not leading the team in sacks. Tackles definitely, sacks absolutely not.
Jamin Davis will lead the team in sacks.
May have a Jamin.
I wanted to say that.
You heard it here first.
To say that, but I just can't believe it. Like, it's just too good to be true.
Well, if you can't believe that, how about this one, Eric? Benjamin St. Juste will have 3 or more interceptions this year.
No, no, he won't. No, not even close. He may not have 1 or more interceptions this year. ESJ has no ball skills. Sorry.
If you can't get 3 interceptions as a starting corner in a Whit Quinn defense, I'm sorry, then no, you're right. Like this season will prove if he's a legit cornerback or not.
Yep, we shall see. Mike, Quan Martin will end the year as our starting free safety. Do you agree with that?
Nah, I disagree, but not because of anything Quan said. I'm just basically going off of what Whit said when he said they don't really have 11 starters or classified starters. I just feel like it's too much talent in that secondary to say that for sure he'll end the season as the starting free safety. Because I'm tired of the Derek Forrest disrespect. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I understand he might have had a not so good start to the season, but we know the story behind this secondary struggles. It wasn't just him; it was the entire unit. That man can ball. We've seen him ball before, and I feel like in this offense, like nobody's talking about him. I've been hearing about Quinn. I've been hearing about Chin. I've been hearing about. I'm sorry, not Quinn.
Jeremy
Martin.
Chin.
Yeah, Chin, and nobody's talking about him. And if they are, it's been negative. I'm like, what? So
Gotta stay healthy.
no,
Yeah. No
So
doubt.
nah.
Okay. Eric, Ben Sinnott will have more receiving touchdowns than Terry McLaurin.
No. No. I think, tight end is generally a position that outside of like Sam Laporta last year, you don't generally see a tight end come in and just take over. I think they will work Sinnott in. He will be a vital part of the offense by the end of the year. But no, I don't think he has more than like maybe 5 tops receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
Or touchdowns, yeah.
Okay. And when you say tight ends don't usually come in and take over, you mean as rookies, right?
As rookies, yeah. I mean, I think it takes them a year or two usually to get acclimated. Sam Laporta notwithstanding.
That's right. Mike, Brandon Jackson will be the left tackle starter before week 5.
I'm gonna go with, as of now, I'm gonna go with no. This question could change. I mean, the answer could change when training camp rolls around and we hear things about him and he dominates at the scrimmages between the inter squad practices. But as of now, I can't see it. I'm gonna say no, he will not. Maybe Thanksgiving, but not week 5, week 11, maybe.
Okay. Eric, Chris Rodriguez will have more rushing yards than Austin Eckler.
No. I don't think either of them will probably have more than 300. I can see Eckler maybe getting 300 rushing yards. But no, I mean, Rodriguez is clearly like the third back in this rotation, unless there's an injury. I think, Eckler will have more carries and yards than Chris Rodriguez.
Okay. Mike, Jahan Dotson will have more receptions than Luke McCaffrey.
I'm going to go with yes. I'm not confident in that answer because if it's one player that's been talked about as much, a rookie outside of Daniels, has been McCaffrey. And that pedigree is hard to ignore. Father Cook, brother Cook. Like, it's really hard to ignore that pedigree and this steady improvement from going from Nebraska to Rice. Like, it's like it's hard to ignore him or even say that he won't cook. But I'm really high on Jahan Dotson. I feel like last year was just a sophomore slump. This season, Han is coming back with a vengeance. Him and Daniels seem to be closer than him and the Daniels and McLaurin. Just off the field, previous relationship. Yeah, I'll say Dotson has more catches, all things considered, but I'm not confident at all.
Okay. Eric, Emmanuel Forbes will lead the team in interceptions this year.
No, as much as I'd like to, I'm as big a Forbes fan as this podcast has. I've been a supporter since day one. I don't know that he leads the team in interceptions this year, though. I can see Quan Martin being that guy, one of the safeties maybe being that guy. I hope Emmanuel Forbes improves this year. Leading the team in interceptions might be a little bit of a stretch.
Okay. Well, might be too much for the second-year player. Okay. Mike, Dante Fowler Jr. will have more sacks this season than Chase Young.
Than Chase Young's career here, or
No, Chase Young with the Saints this year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, man, that's a good question. Thinking about it, I'm gonna say yes, only because Young really doesn't finish the season like that. Like he's been getting injured a lot, and I'm not trying to
Or
like
start it.
make yeah, or I'm not even trying to make light of it. Like it's all about availability, and if you're not on the field, how can you beat a player that could be on the field? It might end up being like 3-5 or something crazy like that, but I'll give Fowler the edge because of history.
I'll say it's a wash. Both have 7 sacks this year.
Oh, 7.
Eric, 7. Yep.
That's a reach for
7
the stars, baby. Both have 4, maybe.
Eric, Jeremy Chin will lead the team in total tackles this year.
No, not even close. He will be like 4th. Bobby Wagner is going to lead the team in tackles.
Really?
As long as Bobby. He's still. I mean, he had 180 tackles last year, and he's still Bobby Wagner. So until I see otherwise, I think Bobby Wagner leads the team in tackles. Middle linebacker almost always does anyway. If your safety leads a team in tackles, your defense is in a little bit of trouble. So if it's not Wagner, it's Luvu, but it's going to be one of the linebackers that does it.
Okay. Mike Olamide Zacchaeus will have more catches than Diami Brown this season.
The same. It's funny. I feel the same about Diami that I do about St. Juice. I feel like both of them should be putting out much more input, being much more better than they actually are. And I feel like if they can't do it this season with the coaching that's been brought in, then they're not going to reach their true potential, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with no. I mean, yes, that's no. What was the original question? Would he have more or less yards?
Olamide Zacchaeus will have more catches than Diami Brown.
Catches. No, he will not. I believe in Diami. I don't. Okay. Man, dude might be a surprise cut for real. Like they might bring in somebody else.
Diami?
It's not. Not.
I was gonna say
no. Well, him too. I could get cut if he does. If he does not have.
I don't think either of them would be a surprise cut.
Right. Like any of them. Like
I wouldn't be surprised to see.
We all know who the first. We know who the first three receivers are. Everybody else besides McLaurin, McCaffrey, and Dotson is on the chopping block. Like for real.
I was going to say, and Diami was at the pro day for the Patriots quarterback from UNC. So, maybe they hold a grudge for that. I don't know. All right. Eric, Cliff Kingsbury will run the ball greater than 35% of the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to see much more balance this year than what we saw. And his offenses in the past have actually been much more now a lot of that's been quarterback runs, and a lot of that could be quarterback runs this year. But I think, you'll see a much, much more balanced attack this year than what we saw last year.
I like it. Mike Cole Turner will log more game minutes than John Bates.
No, absolutely not. He really may not make the team. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut.
Okay. Cole Turner, the hype train, was kind of loud for a while there. So
I mean, and it never left the station. Like, like what are we talking about here?
All right, Eric. Ramez Ahmed will be our starting kicker in Week 18.
What? I have no idea. It's just is that somebody we brought into camp? I don't even know.
That's our current kicker, man.
No, they'll bring in Week 18. Man, we could be on our 12th kicker by Week 18. We could be back to Joey Sly or Nick Novak by Week 18 for all I know. I can't comment on that because I just learned that Ahmed is currently our kicker. So no, I have no idea.
Okay. Mike, the Commanders will finish ahead of the Cowboys in the division this season.
You just picked them to win.
And I'm a stand on that. And I hate, I'm not trying to jinx us or anything, but I'm just going to say this. McCarthy really isn't a good coach, man. I really do not think that man is, and he represents the record that he has. I feel like he's been put in great situations. Y'all remember how the Cowboys were before Quinn got there? That team was falling quickly before Dan Quinn arrived in Dallas. I don't know if he has it in him to do it, to lead that team, especially right now. You got infighting already with Parsons and the safety that they just brought in. Like that, it could get ugly in Dallas early for real. And without somebody there, like we see how important Quinn has been for the Commanders front off, well, not the organization as a whole. Losing somebody like that with somebody like McCarthy leading your team, I think that's dangerous.
It's tough. It is tough.
What if Belichick is there by Thanksgiving? Then is
it could happen.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Oh man! All right, Eric. Jamin Davis will finish no lower than second on the team in tackles.
No lower than second in tackles.
Yeah,
I'm going to say no to that. I think he'll be an impact player this year. I think he'll make. I've been saying that for like 3 years now, but I think he'll make a jump this year. I think he'll be a very impactful player, but I don't think tackles will be his main stat. I can see sacks and like forced fumbles and that kind of stuff coming down the pike for him. I don't know if he's top 2 in tackles though. I think Wagner and Luvu got that on lockdown.
Okay, Mike. Washington will win the 7th seed in the NFC.
Yes. At least if they don't win the division, I do feel like they're still one of the better teams in the NFC. Even if they get in with a record like they did a couple of years ago, 7-10 or 8-9 or something like that, like under 500. Just think the NFC as a whole isn't that strong still. And we can sneak in as the 7th seed pretty easily. I just hate the fact that if they do make the playoffs, it would feel so much like how 2020 went. And I just, like I told y'all a couple of months ago, this season means nothing to me. Unless they win the Super Bowl, this season means nothing to me because I've seen hot starts. So I've seen good things, but I need to see some consistency. So yes, they can sneak in as the 7th seed, but personally speaking, I don't care unless they win it all.
I think the NFC North, NFC South, and NFC West are all primed to send 2 teams to the playoffs. So I think of any division, the NFC East is primed to only send 1 team to the playoffs. So it'll be tough. I think they're going to have to win the division. I don't think the 7th seed will be available. All right, Eric, Cam Curl's presence will not be missed on defense this year.
I will say that is correct. And because they have, with the new coaching staff, they have their own guys and they have their own voice. And Cam Curl's coach on the field presence will be not missed as much as it would, maybe not missed at all, but not missed as much as it would be if the clown show from last year was still here. They really fell apart without Cam Curl on the field. I think the overall coaching will be better this year, and therefore his impact will not be as sorely missed as it would be otherwise.
Word up, man. All right, and to finish us off with our all 22 pack here.
You muted yourself.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, technical difficulties. All right, finishes up, Mike. Johnny Newton will have more sacks than Dorrance Armstrong this year.
Woo. Nah, because I just said that Armstrong might end up leading the team just because he's a defensive end, and you kind of like that's just historically speaking, the edge players are the ones that lead the team in sacks. But that's a really good question if Newton can start the season, because that's kind of, I wouldn't say a specialty, but he's really, really good at getting to the quarterback from the defensive tackle spot. Probably as good as John Allen was when he first entered the league. So I understand the question, but I'm gonna stick to the tradition and roll with Armstrong because he's an edge.
And there's been a couple seasons recently where our defensive tackles did lead the team in sacks. So I could certainly see that being the case. All right. So that was our all 22 questions for the upcoming Commanders season. Guys, it's our dull season, quote unquote, if you will, for the Commanders because there's not a lot going on. Training camp is right around the corner. Eric, any final thoughts for your audience tonight?
What's the start date of training camp? Is it like end of July? Wait, about 3 weeks away? 4 weeks away?
I think so.
I believe it's the 29th.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, the 22nd.
22nd. All right, so we're about 3 weeks away. Fantastic. That's all I got to say. We're 3 weeks away from training camp, some real stuff to talk about. So that's super exciting to me. Everybody have a wonderful 4th of July. I'll be out shouting Omaha with Peyton Manning this week. So you guys have a safe and happy 4th. And remember, back up, Terry.
That's right. And if you are trying to go to training camp, get your tickets now. Because from what I understood, there was a little bit of a waiting list even for some of these tickets. So, Mike, any final thoughts this evening?
Nope. Just I'm really happy that everybody's been enjoying the shows that we've been putting out. We do it for y'all. Like we do it to entertain, we do it to inform, and it's something that we like to do. And I'm glad y'all like to enjoy it. And continue to like us, continue to subscribe, continue to leave comments, and follow us on Twitter too. And let's just keep talking Commanders ball.
That's right. That's right. And we have not decided on what day during the week we're going to record during the season. But over this summer, we might be switching a few days here and there to accommodate schedules and such. So we appreciate your flexibility to all our listeners and all our viewers. Everybody have a great day. And we will be back next week with more great Commanders content. We appreciate you. Commanders Declassified is out of here.